Hey everyone, welcome to Bootstrapping How-Tos. I'm a guy called Joe, and today we're going to go through how to connect Retool to Google Cloud SQL, specifically for a Postgres database. Now, if you haven't used Google Cloud before, it is essentially just Google's cloud services, similar to AWS. You can use it for computing, for functions, for data storage, whether that's a database or just like file storage. And the one that we're talking about today is Google Cloud SQL. So a SQL database or a relational database. Google Cloud SQL actually lets you create MySQL databases, Postgres databases, as well as other relational databases. So Retool, and if you haven't used Retool before, it's a really quick low-code solution to building applications, and it lets you connect to various data sources, including APIs, CSV files on Google Sheets, as well as databases, which is what we're going to be doing today. So first thing is make sure you go over to your Google Cloud platform and then select the right instance. Here we have a Postgres version 13 database that we're going to be using. And then you're going to have the public IP address and all of that you're going to need to know about for you to connect over to Retool. So on Google Cloud Platform now, go over and copy down the public IP address. You're going to need that. And then go over to Retool and then click on your resources tab. Now, once you're there, hit the create button, create new, and then you're going to select Postgres from the database's options. Just select that. It's going to ask you for a bunch of information. You're going to have to name this first, just like anything else. We'll call this gcloud PostgreSQL. And then we'll call it, since we're using version 13, we'll say PostgreSQL 13. So the host is where you're going to paste in that public IP address that we just copied before. Leave the port alone. Don't touch that. There's no reason for modifying that at all. That's the right one. The database name that you're going to want is the one that we had created. So for us, it's Postgres, and then the username is also, no, it's not actually Postgres. We created a user specifically for Retool. Actually, seems like it's not here. So, oh, there it goes. Took a little bit of time to propagate. So Retool, that's the username, and then there's going to be a password, which hopefully you wrote down somewhere for yourself, but enter that in. And then before you hit the test connection button to make sure everything works, make sure to whitelist the Retool IP address. If you don't whitelist the Retool IP address, what's going to happen is you're going to try to connect, and then Google Cloud is going to say, hey, who is this guy? They're not allowed to connect, and then they're going to reject the connection. So just make sure that you do add that whitelisting. So to do that, copy down the IP address with the button, and then go over to your Google Cloud console, click over to connections, and then from there, just add in a new network. You can call it Retool. I should have added in before, but that's fine. I'll add another one. Click on the done, and then click on save. Now, once it's saved, that means that anything coming in through that IP address is going to be authenticated and approved. So we'll hit the test connection button. Connection success, and you can start to create that resource. Let's actually just dive right in. We can create an app. Let's use one of the tables that we have in there, which is the COVID-19 data. So we can just create an app. And then now it's going to start off with the query. And we can actually test it out. So on the side here, we got two tables. One of them is the restaurant inspections, and the other one is COVID-19. We got a lot of data in there. So let's keep it kind of simple, just as a sample, kind of a demo here. Let's select the continent. Actually, let's select this from COVID-19. So we're going to select the continent. What else are we going to select? Let's select the new cases. Here, let's just say new. Let's do new everything. New tests, new cases, and new deaths. That's fine. Don't have to worry about the smooth or the per million. Let's keep it simple here. So let's go ahead and preview that data and see what it looks like. Boom, looking pretty good. So a bunch of Asia, and then we actually want to group by probably the continent. So let's say group by continent. And let's preview that again. Oh, it's going to actually require. So what we need to do is sum that up. Let's sum all of it up. MySQL. You might know SQL better than I do, so don't don't judge. But looks like we have some. Oh, I gotta actually name these as new tests, as new cases, and then as new debts. And then let's hit the preview button again. See how that data looks. Okay, not bad. It's really big numbers, but also we're talking about continents, like entire continents, not even talking about countries. Which actually maybe we can. Do we have countries in here? Council district? No, we don't. City? No. Okay, that's fine. I'll save and run that, and then we can drag a table into our Retool app over here. Put this at the top. Should make this smaller so we have some room to work with here. So we want the table in the main section. So the drag and dropping is actually really nice in Retool. The fact that you can easily manipulate your UI like that. And then let's see, so Asia, let's actually see what other data set do we have here that we can use, because I want a list that's a little longer. So in cases, maybe we can add in depth. Oh, location. Let's see, what does location give us? So we're gonna have to add that to the group by cause. Do that, preview. Location is, yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, that gives us a really good list, so we'll save that. So now we have a pretty decently sized list, and the location actually got added to the end of it. We can use Retool's nice UI to go ahead and rearrange the columns. So let's make this a little bit more complicated of an application. Let's add in a search field up here. Set a name, we'll call it search by location. And then what we'll do here is we're going to update our query so that it does a where clause. We'll add this into parentheses. So something that is actually pretty important. So for Retool, if you're using a text input field like that, you want to make sure that you're not filtering on it when it's blank. So what we'll do is we'll do the exclamation mark and then text input that value. So that, and then we'll do an or statement. And where location I like, and then here's where we'll do the curly brackets, and then the parentheses symbols are actually very important here because this will tell it that you care about, you know, what's within this value, but anything outside of that as well, just to make sure that it kind of matches. So we're gonna say text input that value. So let's preview this for now. Let's make sure that the query still works, which it does, and then we can test this out. So I guess the Iceland, let's do that. Let's just say ice. Preview that, and then Iceland shows up. Perfect, exactly what we wanted. So let's hit the save button, save and run. We'll drop this away, and then let's test this out. What's another, I don't know, city? Is New York a city? No, location, so it's by countries. New Zealand, yep, that looks good. So United States is probably going to be up here as well. And yeah, looks like in what, less than 10 minutes, we've connected a database, and then we started creating a UI where the user can filter down a data set. And it all took less than 10 minutes, which that's the power of Retool and connecting it to a database. But so just to quickly recap, the things that we did here was you go over to your Retool application, to your resources, click on the create new button, you select Postgres, and then from there, you just input all the information that is required. So your host is going to be the public IP address found in your settings. If you're using Google Cloud, it's really easy. It's just on the overview. You can copy that. You want to make sure that you create a user for Retool specifically, because you don't want to use the root user. So it's always better to create new users when you're making new connections. The port is going to be the same. The database name is going to be whatever database that you created. In our case, the database name was Postgres, so we use that. And then of course, the very important part is whitelisting the Retool IP address. If you don't do that, you're going to have an error when you try to connect. So make sure you copy that IP address, you go over to your connection setting, and then you whitelist that IP. But otherwise, that's basically it for connecting Retool to your Google Cloud Postgres database. If you do run into any issues, please leave a comment in the section below. We're happy to help, so don't be shy. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button so that other people just like you can find this video and learn how to quickly create tools and apps within Retool based on your database. We're going to be adding in a couple of more videos here to walk through more features of Retool and connecting data and how you can just, manipulate it and make, really beautiful UX inspired apps in Retool. So hit the subscribe button and also the bell so you get notified when we do release those videos. Of course, any feedback is welcome. So don't be shy, share this video, leave comments below, hit the like button. But otherwise, this is Bootstrapping how-tos. We've walked through Retool and connecting it with your Google SQL, PostgreSQL database to create an app in less than 10 minutes. I'm a guy called Joe. This is Bootstrapping Tools, and we're out.